Ladies and gentlemen, hear me as I share with you an experience I had on Sabbath, April 27, 2019, around midnight. Because of the nature of the experience, I cannot tell you anything about myself, but you will hear in part 2 of the discussion in the other video. Let me explain Sabbath time. According to Genesis chapters 1 and 2 of the Bible, a day begins at one sunset and ends at the other sunset. Thus, the Bible's Sabbath begins on Friday sunset at evening, which is the beginning of Saturday, the seventh day of the week, and goes all the way throughout night, then into the daylight of Saturday, and finishes when the sun sets on Saturday evening. So my experience began around midnight. It was not a dream. A dream for me goes on in my earthly bodily dimension, with my full body weight intact. This experience began with a scant group of family members in a greenish, bluish boathouse on a slight slope in an unknown setting. The group had finished a normal communication and dispersed about their business within the household as usual, without a king. Then change came suddenly upon us without any warning. Standing from the middle of the sitting room and dining room within the house, I looked through the open window from the front door and saw the tall male member of this family, about 6 feet, sneaking, quietly creeping up the slope towards the house, with a long machine gun pointing from his 2 hands. He did not see me. And I reasoned suddenly that the members of the household have to get out of the house without making any noise. Now that was so in my multi-dimensional body, according to my thinking. But interestingly, scenes unknown to me and the household began taking place outside of the house and within the front of the partition when the man entered the house. While I was in the back room struggling to take off the light to protect the members so the man will not see them and they can get out of the house safely, I sensed the man's presence close to the open back room door, moving around in slow motion, searching. The quietness in the house was tense. I climbed up on the rim at the head of the iron bed and clicked the 4 buttons over the light bulb in the room one by one. The light did not go out. I unscrewed the light bulb. The light did not go out. Then I looked across to the left and saw a double switch on the door pause. I crept across and clicked the double switch. The bulb flicked faintly, but still brightness remained in the room. Suddenly my body was lifted above the floor and floated through the partition board, having caught up in a sudden transformation that was taking place among the members of the house, unknown to the man who was in the house with the gun searching. Now another being, looking like human, had entered the house and was standing by the front door, transforming the members of the household into the same bodily dimensional state that he was in. He made us lighter than our earthly weight, giving us the potential to float and hurriedly ushering us from within the house to the outside. Arriving on the outside, I recognized that our appearance had changed to another race. Looking down by a tree about 50 feet from the house, I saw 3 other beings, like the ones standing in the front door of the boathouse we had just came from. There was a growing gathering of people, or a crowd, with the 3 beings waiting for us under the tree. They were of the same race as we were changed into. Everybody had the same racial appearance, lighter skin, hair color, and groom. Also, we all wore clothing for the weather, which was acquired during the transformational experience in the house. I tried to portray the clothing by the way I am dressed now. We took nothing from our own. The 3 human looking beings standing under the tree were actively hurrying the growing crowd to flee away from the buildings, downwards towards a path leading to a wooded area. No one knew the path. We were just running through trees with broad leaves. I was at the back, and I took advantage of my light nature and ran speedily on the heads of the crowd that had formed a compact mat, and reached the front and was leading the crowd. My strides were strong and powerful. Meanwhile, the crowd was growing steadily from the back. The wide path opened to a double path to aid movement. I entered the divided path closest to me on the right, with the smaller throng following, while the larger throng entered along the other divided path on the left. There was a mental sensation of a river ahead, and the smaller group will meet up with the larger group. When those seeking us in the house realized we had left, they began a search pursuit after us. My path divided itself again along the path. Hurrying, I questioned loudly to myself, which one to take, which one to take? I hesitated. Then, seeing the path to the right containing debris, I quickly decided for the one on the left, which I reasoned would lead as well to the larger group. Along the way, a sensation entered me that we may be overtaken by our pursuers. So I looked back at the crowd. It was dwindling. I looked back again a little while after, and I glanced 1 or 2 persons. I didn't bother. I just reasoned that the crowd had receded away from the path to the trees in the direction of the larger group as security. I continued traversing my path when suddenly a mass choir arose within me and could also be heard ahead to the left, uniting the vast company. The repeated recording, "Lovest thou me more than these, my child? What will your answer be?" The music was loud and melodious inside of the members of the company, so it was not audible to anyone outside. Only we who were fleeing could hear it. The choir did not sing the refrain. The recording was the judge of my conscience. I had to answer for myself. And I just couldn't give the answer that is in the refrain either. I love the Lord more than all of these. I had to process it quickly. Now, the understanding of more than these in the song was the word which filtered through. I only knew the refrain or the chorus previously. I didn't know the song. I reasoned within me that death could happen with the decision. I agreeably did not mind. Yes, so let me repeat this part here. I reasoned within me that death could happen with the decision. I arguably did not mind. I resolved that gratitude that God had helped us. Our bodies were already light to undergo the danger. And I pressed on to strengthen my timid faith in the decision. Subsequently, my eyes opened to the realization that I was back on my reclining chair. The transformed bodily dimensional state gradually receded back to my earthly realm. The impact froze me. My heart was bowing down in gratitude towards God for providing a help in trouble. I felt to kneel in prayer and to write the experience and share. I felt a care for the brethren. I reasoned that sharing would encourage them because they might be dealing with fears of impending future events related to salvation. And the thought of dealing with death in our natural state might be quite troubling. I shared with 3 persons, and I had decided to engage a group in making a video. 3 days after, hearing the song Amazing Grace in the night sleep and darkness and gloom taking hold of me, I got up resolutely. And alone with God, I reviewed my personal history and prayed for help to write. Noticeably, the darkness gradually receded, and I wrote this edited version, which I am sharing now. This is an opportunity for you to share as well, if you care. Part 2, a discussion on the experience will follow. This is the end of my experience.